Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Issei by Gabriel Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more awesome content and subscribe my channel and like this video, and also go support the Sir Juis High for writing that awesome fanfic. Let's start this video. Biodo Issei is my name, but my friends call me Ice. I'm currently experiencing the time of my youth, being surrounded with friends and being a teenager that always hangs out with them, which are mostly girls. Students with whom I am not familiar often say, "Isn't that you, San?" and make me wonder how they knew my name. The answer was simple, that's because Hyodo Issei is one of the two princes of the school. I don't really know why I was proclaimed as a prince like Udo Kiba-san. I'm not like him. I do not have a super handsome face and attractive aura, but the people around me would always say that I just think that. One of the things that I was well known for was, I am the most diligent and nicest guy on the campus. I don't also know how I got that title, but I'm alright with that because a certain someone once taught me to be a good and forgiving person. My life was pretty normal, but it changed when it happened. Please go out with me. A confession from a girl, the very first one that I've accepted. Though many girls tried to confess to me, I didn't return their feelings, but somehow I failed to reject this girl in front of me, Yuma Mono. I have seen many cute girls, but I've never felt this way before. My heart experienced for the very first time the feeling that was called love. On our first date, I gathered all of my knowledge on how to make a girl happy by accompanying her shopping, strolling around in the mall and eating at a restaurant. I really managed to have fun. Being with Yuma-chan was very enjoyable. I never had the thought of anything negative. We had fun throughout the day, and in the blink of an eye, it was already getting dark. Issei-kun, I want to go somewhere. Being the oblivious guy, I went with her in a park that was away from the town. The park was empty, besides from us, there was no one in the said place, but I didn't really mind that part since I was walking alongside Yuma-chan. The day was really fun, Issei-kun. Yuma-chan said while hastening her pace. I slowly caught up to her, and I kept my distance while following her. Somehow, a part of me was yelling that I should run, but I didn't obey nor thought of running. Hey Issei-kun, could you please die for me? I said, could you die for me? She said it again with a laugh. I was thinking that it was a joke, but my body was sweating heavily. There was no doubt that her words had killing intent on them. At that moment, a pair of black wings grew out on Yuma-chan's back. They were absolutely darker than the night sky, and it gave me chills while staring at them. Instead of admiring them, I felt disgusted while staring at her black wings. Yuma's eyes also changed and it was really scary. The atmosphere in the park dropped its temperature and my body froze. The sweat in my body added to the coldness. I tried to run, but my feet wouldn't move. I had fun with you, you're just like a child who got a great toy. In her hands, a bright energy appeared in the form of a spear. It was releasing buzzing sounds heavier than those games in the arcade center. Then there was a sound of wind with a nasty noise. It felt like something was pierced through by a super sharp object. Then I realized that the spear that Yuma-chan was holding was embedded into my stomach. The pain was excruciating and I followed what my mind told me. I tried to remove the spear that was struck into my stomach. My head became dizzy and my vision became blurry. I heard light footsteps walking towards me, but I don't even have the strength to move my head. Sorry. You were a threat to us, so we decided to get rid of you early. If you want to hold a grudge, then hate the god who put the sacred gear inside you. I heard footsteps walking away, but it was replaced by a flapping sound, the sound of wings being used. I collapsed on the ground while catching my breath. My hands were still trying to grab the spear that was embedded in me. I used the remaining strength left in my body to pull the spear away. That moment, I felt a strength I never had rushed into my hands. The spear was removed and I felt a pair of hands was supporting me. It seems that I made it in time. But you have one nasty wound there. Tell me, have you been cheating on a fallen angel, Ice? Phew. I heard a familiar voice, and I tried to open my eyes. Despite the blurry vision, I saw blonde hair. The color was the same just like back then. The prettiest hair that I always caressed when I was younger. The hair of the girl who taught me about being nice and understanding to others. Gabrielson. Phew, I'm glad that you remember me. But you must rest now, that dragon will talk to you later. Before I lost consciousness, I felt a warm feeling taking over my lips. Life 1. Throwing away humanity. The place was full of flowers and butterflies, along with some dragonflies that were flying. A little kid with brown hair was chasing them while giving a hearty smile on his young face. He was about to catch one, but he suddenly tripped. The boy started to cry while holding his knee. That moment, a woman with bright curly blonde hair walked towards him and patted his head. The boy slowly stopped crying as he wept the tears in his eyes. It's okay, Ice, there were no wounds, the woman said in a gentle comforting tone, and the boy named Ice looked at his knee. The wound that was there earlier suddenly disappeared without leaving a trace. I remember this happened when I was a kid. This was definitely a dream. Because those memories were stored in the deepest parts of my brain, and even if I imagine it, it will never be this realistic. Just as I thought of that, the place around me disappeared, taking all of my senses. Instead, it was replaced by a fiery place with a giant silhouette. That's very strange, since the fire wasn't hurting me despite the fact that I was touching it. So, you finally awakened, huh? I heard a mysterious voice within my head. It was an intense voice with low volume. I don't recall this voice. But somehow I felt that I knew this person. I'm over here. Suddenly, the gigantic silhouette moved closer to me. It had big scary eyes. The color of its eyes were blood red with a jaw that came up to its ears, where a lot of sharp fangs were growing out. There was a thick horn lining up on its forehead, and the scales which covered its body were red like magma. It had thick arms and legs like those of a gigantic tree. The claws were very sharp and curvy, which made it look terrifying. And on top of that, it seemed really gigantic because of its two pairs of wings which were spread to the sides. I know this appearance, it was the one of dragons. That's it. That's the right deduction. I have been trying to talk to you for the whole time. But, because your powers were sealed, my words didn't reach you. Finally, I am finally able to appear in front of you. I don't get what he said, but he was trying to talk to me. What is he saying? Why am I here in the first place? I was on a date with Uma-chan and, that's right, you were almost dead. But thanks to whatever reason, you're still alive. How that was real. Uma-chan was a black angel that kills people. They are called fallen angels. From the name alone you can tell that they were former angels. They probably thought that you were a sacred gear possessor, that's why they killed you before you even get persuaded by devils nor angels. The dragon told me as I stopped my current thoughts. Angels. Devils. Fallen angels. What is this? Do such beings exist? But seeing this dragon stand in front of me somehow makes me believe it. But, why am I here in the first place? And who is this dragon? You already know about me. That woman told you about the beginning when you were still a child, correct? Well then, let's meet again. Just when the dragon disappeared, I felt something change in my body. My left arm was replaced by something that was covered by red scales with very sharp claws. When I woke up, I found myself staring at the familiar ceiling. So, when I remembered the happenings last night, I quickly sprung out of bed and looked at my stomach. There was no trace of any wounds nor any pain, but the memory of Uma-chan with the spear was quite clear in my head. But then I saw the weird changes in my left arm, the scaled arm was there, and the feeling was real. Wah. I tried to get it off to no avail. The thing on my left arm seems like it was a part of my body. This thing was giving a pulse, and I can clearly feel everything with it. No way. That was really Uma-chan and the spear were real. Just when I was panicking on how to explain this to my friends, I noticed a thick diary that was placed at the top of my desk. It was the first time that I saw it, but it looked dusty and old, so I slowly walked towards the diary and opened it. The owner of this diary was none other than Gabriel-san, who took care of me when I was younger. Since I was abandoned when I was baby, Gabriel-san was the one who took care of me. She was the one who raised me until I was 10 years old. All the money, furniture and this house that I lived in was owned by Gabriel-san. She was like an angel, she was very beautiful, and in those 10 years that I was with her, I never remember her aging even a little. It's just like she was timeless. But 6 years ago, Gabriel-san suddenly disappeared, leaving me all of her teachings and beliefs. I don't know where she is nor how to contact her, but every month she still sends me money for my daily necessities. I have tried to ask the bank where she was sending money, but the bank never told me anything about her. I also grew up with knowledge about domestic chores and basic manners. Never a day in my life did I forget about Gabriel-san and her teachings. Her teachings, she always told me stories about angels and other races like devils and dragons. She also told me that a god never exists anymore, but I was a kid back then, I never thought that all of those were true. Then you must be Drake. Right, you are a partner. All of her stories were real, and now you have discovered that you're this generation's Sekiryuite. Hearing what the dragon said, I looked at my left arm as I remembered what Gabriel-san said to me when I was younger. Ice, in time you will realize that you're the Sekiryuite. It is up to you whether you will take the path of light or the path of destruction, but I believe that you will be the greatest Sekiryuite that will exist. Gabriel-san, I'll tell you everything you want to know. But I think that you might be late for something. I looked at the clock and it was already 8:30, and I was going to be late for school. I took my uniform, but I remembered that my arm was still in the dragon form. Yes, I'll make it disappear. If you want it to appear, just say it to me. With his words, the dragon arm disappeared, and I managed to get in my uniform and eat some bread that the aunt was selling in the bakery. I ran in the direction toward school, and I couldn't help but notice that my speed was unnatural. I was even faster than the train that was running on the tracks. Yes, since you have awakened your power, it's natural for you to be stronger than ordinary humans. I ignored Drake's words as I slowed down when I was near the Kuo Academy. I tried to act normal as I greeted the familiar faces that were waving their hands at me. I tried to search for the fallen angel, but I couldn't see her anywhere. It also seems that my friends lost their memories about Uma-chan. Just when I'm about to walk towards my class, I happen to pass by a little kid with white hair and dark gold eyes. The school's mascot, Kaneko Taoju-san. I don't know why, but my body reacted and shivered, and I felt the dragon's arm almost summoned itself. I looked at Taoju-san, and I was surprised to see that she was already 10 meters away, and she was forming a fighting stance. "Dragon," she said in a low voice as she suddenly disappeared and reappeared behind me. Because of my heightened senses, I managed to evade her attack and jump out of the window. By the way, I'm on the 3rd floor. That's why it couldn't be helped that I landed while smashing my body hard on the ground. Normally I should have broken bones, but just like what the dragon said to me earlier, not only my senses, but also my body is getting stronger. With all of my strength, I ran towards the old school building, hoping to hide from Taoju-san, who wanted to attack me for some reason. But when I arrived at the area where a lot of trees were growing, I felt the same sensation as when I was with Taoju-san. But this time, there are more of them. I shivered in fear because this feeling was very uncomfortable, and a part of me was saying that I should run again. What do we have here? The second prince of Kuo Academy, Hyodo Issei-kun. The first one to appear was the black-haired beauty, Himejima-senpai. Then after a few seconds, the ones who arrived at the spot were Taoju-san, Kiba-kun, and lastly, the crimson-haired princess of the school, Gremory-senpai. To think that this boy is a dragon, why didn't we sense it earlier? Gremory-senpai said as she stared at me with amusement. Though she was smiling, I can't help but to feel terrified by her beautiful face. It's just like Gabriel-san's when she was about to scold me for stealing a candy from another kid. Riaz, I can sense a strong existence within this boy. It's stronger than all of us combined. Do you think that he's one of the Dragon Kings? Or is he a heavenly dragon? We'll find that out. Yudo attacks him but doesn't inflict a critical injury or kill him. Understood, but you? That moment, Kiba-kun moved like a flash. I didn't see him nor his trajectory, but I heard his movements. I predicted his trajectory and gathered all of my strength in my left hand. I used the power in my feet to leap in his direction and released the power gathered in my hand and punched it towards him. Again, my punch blew off a gust of wind and destroyed many trees on the path. I looked at the damage that I have done, and I was very surprised. I was surprised because Kiba-kun wasn't anywhere near the spot. Such a power, but it's useless if you can't hit me. I felt a hard thing being smashed at my back, but the force wasn't enough to knock me down. I again used my inhuman speed to get away, but Kiba-kun, who was faster than me, caught up and slashed me with his sword. I told Drake to summon the dragon's arm, and I used it to block the sword that Kiba-kun was swinging. Red Dragon Emperor's Gauntlet, it's the first time that I've seen it, Gremory-senpai said, and all of the people around her gasped. Even Kiba-kun, who was attacking me, suddenly retreated and stood in front of Gremory-senpai as if to protect her. Partner, they are devils. I don't sense any killing intent or hostility from them. They must have been alerted since a dragon entered their territory without permission. Try to speak with them, since you've just awakened you cannot defeat them in your state. Nice idea, Dragon-san. That way I can clear the misunderstandings and probably live in this situation. I think we have a misunderstanding, I said as I made the dragon's arm disappear and sit down on the ground, declaring that I don't want to fight. Surprisingly, Gremory-senpai nodded and ordered Kiba-kun to lower his sword. The other people also stopped their battle formation and looked at me with an intrigued face. If that's the case, let's talk in the club room. I will have to ask a lot of questions, but that I was dragged into the old school building by the devils. So, you've just recently discovered that you were the Sekiryute. That must be very surprising. I nodded my head at Gremory-senpai's question as I sipped the tea that Himejima-senpai prepared. Surely this oolong tea can match Gabriel-san's Earl Grey, but that's not the point. Right now I'm inside the old school building and I'm currently surrounded by devils. I was now really convinced that Taoju-san and Kiba-kun were devils because of the wings growing on their back. Also, I've never expected the two One-sama of the school to be actual devils. Then, is there anyone else in your family that owns sacred gear or something? Gremory-senpai asked, and I stopped drinking my tea while looking at the window with depressed eyes. I smiled bitterly as I put the cup of tea on the table silently. I was abandoned as a baby. I don't know if I have any family. If that's the case, how did you live till now? I was raised by this woman, I said as Gremory-senpai showed an intriguing expression. Even if she asks, I don't know any information about Gabriel-san. I don't even know her last name. This boy was raised by one of the Seraphs, Gabriel. The red dragon arm appeared and said those words. Silence filled the room as Gremory-senpai and the others looked at me with an unimaginable expression taking on their faces. What is it? Is there something wrong with Gabriel-san? Wait a minute, the Gabriel from the Bible raised me. I yelled out my surprise. Never in my life did I think that Gabriel-san was the great archangel that was mentioned in the Bible. I was raised by an important angel next to Michael. And I didn't even know that. So you really thought that the woman who raised you wasn't an angel? Then how do you explain your wounds that always heal? including the wound that you got from that fallen angel last night. So, Gabriel-san was the one who healed me from that wound. Right, you are a partner. But seriously, don't acquire another injury like that. Gabriel cannot heal something beyond that. She might really fool you KNOW. The dragon-san said the last part with a mischievous voice, and Gremory-senpai showed a cute blush when she heard that. Seriously, what's going on here? I couldn't understand anything right now. I meant to say that Gabriel used her body to heal you overnight. I'm really surprised that she didn't fall, but I'm sure that if she did that again she won't be so lucky. That's why you better start learning about healing medicine. Now it was my turn to blush madly. If what this dragon said was true, I don't know how to face Gabriel-san when I meet her again. Seriously, I need to learn about healing medicine just like Drake said. But right now, there's a more important task to do. That's right, I was attacked by a fallen angel yesterday. She was saying something about sacred gears. Does Gremory-senpai know anything? Yeah, it has been rumored that the fallen angels were killing humans with sacred gears. Since you don't know about them, let me explain. Sacred gears were an irregular power which is bestowed to certain humans. For example, most of the people whose name is recorded in the history are said to be possessors of sacred gears. They use the power of their sacred gear to record their name in history. Presently there are people who have sacred gear within their body. You know, those people who play an important role worldwide. Most of those people possess sacred gear within their body. Himejima-senpai continued with Gremory-senpai's explanation. Most of the sacred gears have functions that are only usable in human society. But there are exceptional sacred gears which are a threat to the devils and fallen angels. Just like yours, but having the Red Dragon Emperor inside will be very fortunate to them, so maybe they failed to recognize your sacred gear, that's why they tried to dispose of you. That's scary. So fallen angels are like that. To be expected from evil angels, even I feel that the devils are a lot nicer than them. Based on my perspective with Gremory-senpai and the other devils. But now, you've known about our existence, it will be a pressure for you. What do you mean, senpai? It won't be long until the fallen angels discover that you're the Sekiryuite. They will try to persuade you to join their organization. As devils we might also try to do that, but it is up to you to choose which faction you will join. Since you were raised by the Archangel Gabriel, the chance of you joining the heavens is high, and we devils are enemies with the angels. That's why I will warn you that you should not go in certain places when you've joined them. She was correct. As a human dragon, I will be forced to join one of those factions. Though I certainly won't join the fallen angels' side, I will not also join the devil's side. The chances of me joining the angels are high. But if that's what Gabriel-san wanted, she should have trained me when I was a kid to slay devils and join them, but she did not. Gabriel-san wanted me to have a normal life, but that's not possible now that I've discovered the fact that I am the Sekiryuite. Though I also want a normal life, that won't be possible, especially since the vanishing dragon is surely awake like me. That's what Gabriel-san always told me, that the opposite of the Welsh dragon is also awake. Our destiny to fight will never change. That's why it will be better for you to get stronger while the white one isn't aware yet. But what should I do? If I had the choice I will join Gabriel-san, but she raised me to be a normal human. She doesn't want me to get involved, but she also knows that I will discover this. But she still tried to make me feel normal, and now that I discovered the truth, what will I do? I don't want to crush her expectations, but there's nothing I can do now. Then I won't join any factions. I will remain as human as a dragon. I won't assist anyone, and I will not also declare hostility in anyone except those who threaten me. As if being amused by my statement, Gremory-senpai showed a smile. Then as long as you keep that resolve, you are free to do anything. But if you want help, we will come to your aid, but please don't act rashly and kill our kind because we are simply called devils. I know that there are some devils who are good while others are bad. Just like fallen angels, I will train myself to be stronger, and my only goal is to stay alive and defeat the vanishing dragon with my power. I declared as I stood and looked at my red dragon arm. After talking with the devils on the Occult Research Club, we made a pact. They will treat this like nothing happened. They will also alert all of the devils in the school of my presence. In exchange, I will not reveal anything about them, nor create any mischief because of my newfound power. Before they let me off, they sent Kiba-kun to escort me back to my own classroom. It certainly is weird to have someone attacking you earlier to accompany you. Please don't act leisurely, especially now since other beings can sense you as a dragon. Kiba-kun remembered before leaving. I gave a small nod as I returned to the room. As expected, I can't calm down because I keep sensing the presence of other beings moving around freely inside the city. And I can also feel that there were a few that were observing the school from afar. This was scary. Just like when Gabriel-san was scolding me about something. Calm down, partner, if you get that tense your presence will be a lot more noticeable. Deep inside me, the Welsh dragon said, though he was right, I can't calm down after hearing such a thing. There were fallen angels roaming around the city. I may meet Uma-chan again, and I am not looking forward to seeing her again after she almost killed me. By any chance Drake, will I meet Gabriel-san again? That was my question, since I haven't been able to talk nor see her for 6 years, I was really yearning for her. I want to ask many questions and know her reason for not telling me about this earlier. I also want to know why she left me. You long for her, huh? Well, I will tell you this, partner, Gabriel never left you in the first place. She was always watching you throughout your growth. Every night when you're asleep she will appear in your room and stay with you for a few hours. She will occasionally put you into deep slumber and she will sleep beside you. Gabriel was really attached to you, that's why she never left you. I became silent when I heard Drake say that Gabriel-san never left me. But she only distanced herself and spent less time with you, because if she continues to be with you in this weak form, the possibility of someone using you as her weakness will increase. She didn't want you to be in danger, that's why she did that. Hearing those words, I want to cry, Drake. I am grateful to Gabriel-san for raising me, and I also want to meet her. But I will do that when I'm stronger, so she will not have to worry about me being in danger. If the tales about Drake being able to match gods are real, I will use that power to protect Gabriel-san for the rest of my life. But in order to do that you need to get a stronger partner. Though it'll be long before you surpass Gabriel, you have all the time to train, I don't know why, but you are born with a long lifespan, partner. Really, I can live longer than ordinary humans. Being the Sekiryuite, it's normal for you to have a lifespan of 1000 years because you were born as a human. But the current you have a lifespan that doesn't have an end, basically, the only thing that can cause your death is injuries like what you gained last night. That's why you need to be a careful partner. I see, so I'm partially immortal, huh? Then is it possible for me to control the thing that is called Juggernaut Drive? According to Gabriel-san's diary, it has the power to release all of the power of the heavenly dragons. And the cause for that is shredding the possessor's lifespan, but what if what you said is real, then maybe I can use it without shredding my life. That is true, though normally it will shred lifespan even if you were reincarnated, your lifespan carries unlimited energy. A very weird energy, I don't know the exact reason, but it may be possible because of your blood. I don't know what kind of blood is flowing through you, but I can tell that you came from a very powerful bloodline. As for the Juggernaut Drive, it is near impossible to master it completely, but I guess that you can use it with a time limit using that energy. Bloodline, huh? I don't know anything about my family, but I think that Gabriel-san knows something. I don't really care about them since they abandoned me, I only care for Gabriel-san and my friends. As the time passed, I chatted with Drake, and before I knew it, the class had already ended. The whole day I was on my seat staring at the window and thinking about some matters, I even forgot to eat lunch or snacks. I grabbed my bag and prepared to leave, but before I left the class, the blonde prince greeted me. Hey there, Issei-kun, can you come with me for a moment? But you and the others have something to say. I nodded dumbly as I followed Kiba-kun back to the old school building. I have no idea of the horrors that were waiting for me. Arriving at the clubroom, I was greeted by Himejima-senpai, who was smiling while serving tea. Gremory-senpai was also there along with Taoju-san, who was eating some donuts with ice cream. Issei-kun, can I call you Ice? Today we have received an order for a hunt from the Archduke. Exile devils. There are beings that are called as such. The devil who was turned into a servant devil of a devil with a peerage, but who betrayed or killed its master. Cases like that often occur. Devils are enormously powerful. You can't even compare it to the time when you were a human. There would be those who choose to use that power for their own self-interests. Those devils leave their master's place and rampage across the surrounding area. That is an exile devil. Just like stray dogs. Stray dogs create troubles. When found, the master or the other devils are ordered to eliminate them. That is the law of the devils. Even others such as angels and fallen angels see them as a threat and they would eliminate the exiled devil whenever found. There is nothing scarier than a devil who does not abide by any rule. Gremory-senpai explained to me the current happenings. Currently there was an exiled devil on the loose and rampaging in the nearby end of town. They were ordered to hunt the exiled devil and eliminate it, but the question is, why am I involved? I tried to ask this at Gremory-senpai, but she just answered, because you may get mistaken by the fallen angels as the exiled one. This is also a good chance to view a battle and an experience for you who have just awakened. Apparently, this devil was also abducting humans and eating them while hiding in some place. This was definitely serious, that's why Gremory-senpai should act, though I don't want to join, I need to stop the rampaging devil. I cannot stand idly while watching that abomination to kill innocent humans, I'm sure that Gabriel-san would do the same. It was already midnight when we arrived on the other side of town. We went into the unused building that was surrounded by creepy-looking trees and tall grass. And this is where the devil was consuming those humans to satisfy itself. I felt a shiver running in my spine, and I summoned the dragon's arm, or as they call it, boosted gear. Boost. But that sound I felt that my strength has increased, possibly stronger than my normal self. According to legends, the boosted gear doubles the power of the possessor every 10 seconds. By using it, the possessor can reach leader-class angels, fallen angels and high-class devils, and by mastering it, you could kill a god. What a terrifying sacred gear. Gremory-senpai said as she stared at the boosted gear with an amazed expression. Just when we were doing that, I smelled a scent of iron. It's a disgusting smell that somehow made my body react and increased the pressure that I was releasing. Senpai, that is the smell of blood. Aoju-san muttered and I quickly covered my nose, so that was the smell of blood. But why does it smell disgusting? Is it because of the devil who was killing and eating humans here? It's a good opportunity to experience what it's like to fight. Is it really good to be here? I mean, I feel like vomiting because of the smell, and I'm sure whoever did that was scary. That's why I feel scared. The only thing that was keeping me from running away was Gabriel-san's teachings that I still remember. Devils who become a master give traits to those who will become their servants. Yes, it's probably about time I explain about it and the history of devils. Since you're a dragon, you should also need to learn about this kind of thing. There was a three-sided war between the devils, the fallen angels, and God with its angels' followers. All three sides had a large army, and they fought for almost eternity. As a result, all three sides lost most of their troops, and the war finished several hundred years ago with no side winning. Kiba-kun continued after Gremory-senpai. The devils were no exception. Big devils with peerage who commanded about 20 or 30 troops lost most of their underlings because of the war. They lost so many that they couldn't even form new armies. Imajima-senpai continued on from there. I heard that most of the pure devils passed away in that war. But even after the war, there are still problems between the devils, the fallen angels and God. Even when the fallen angels and God's side also lost most of their troops, we are still in a position where we can't let our guard down, or else we will be in trouble. Then Gremory-senpai spoke again. Then the devils decided to use a system to form a small group of soldiers. And that is the evil piece. Evil pieces? Devils with peerage decide to use the traits of the humans' game chess to their servant devils. It was sarcasm because most of the servants are devils that were reincarnated from humans. Since then chess has become a popular game in the world of the devils. We'll leave that aside. Devils who are masters are a king. In our case that is me. From there they created 5 special traits which consist of queen, rook, bishop, and knight. Since they couldn't make an army, they decided to have a small number of devils and give them enormous powers. This system was made in the past few hundred years, and this unexpectedly became popular amongst devils with peerage. Popular? You mean the chess rule? They started to compete against each other. For example, like, my knight is stronger. Or no, my rook is stronger. As a result, high-class devils started to play a game like that of chess against each other, using their servant devils. We call it the rating game. Anyway, this game became very popular amongst the devils. Now there are even tournaments for it. The strength of their pieces and also how strong they are at the game affects the devil's social position and their peerage. There is a thing called Piece Collect where they gather humans with talents and make them into their pieces. It has been very popular recently. Talented servants become their status. Is that so? Devils rely on humans to save their race, huh? But I wonder what will happen on the angels' side. Since God is already dead, how will they battle the other growing races? I have heard from Gabriel-san that fallen angels mate with humans to preserve their race, but I better not say that out loud. After all, I'm still not sure whether that is real. I'm not a mature devil yet, so I can't participate in a formal tournament. Even if I could, there are things that I need to go through or else I can't play. In short, my servants here won't be participating in a game for a while. So does that mean that Kiba-kun and the others haven't played in that game yet? Kiba-kun answered my question with a simple yes. I've also noticed that we have chatted for about 10 minutes, and we should really hunt the exiled devil-kun. Since I cannot stand this smell much longer. After walking for another minute, I felt chills all over my body. Himejima-senpai also sensed the creature lurking in the darkness, that's why they prepared a battle position. Boost. Wait a minute. How many times did this thing say the boost? I have been chatting for more than 11 minutes, and this thing hasn't stopped doubling my power. I can clearly feel the power, but somehow I can't use it. Partner, you already have boosted your power to an extent where it should be enough to take down high-class devils. Why don't you try it? Though your starting power is not very impressive, it can increase by training. Bragg said it to me, really I can now match high-class devils. Geez, this sure is easy, don't you think? Still not enough, the past possessors can match middle-class devils without doubling their power. You still have a long way to go, by the way, you are close to your limit. Better use this power before it restarts. Suddenly, when I was chatting with Drake, Gremory-senpai stopped me from walking. I can smell something disgusting. But I can also smell something delicious. Is it sweet? Or is it sour? A low voice which sounds like it's coming from below the ground. This weirdness isn't normal. Just hearing its voice scares me. Exile devil, vigor. We are here to eliminate you. Quack 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 quack. The abnormal laughter echoes around us. I now clearly understand. This isn't a laugh of a human. It's also not a laugh of a devil that I know of. From the shadows, a thing showed up. It was a topless woman. But the woman's body was floating. The next thing that appeared was the body of a gigantic beast. It was a grotesque being with an unnatural form having a woman's upper body and the lower body of a monster. It was holding something that looked like a spear in both of its hands. The lower body of the monster had 4 fat legs with sharp claws. Is it a snake tail? The tail is moving on its own. From the size of it, it is definitely more than 5 meters tall. If it stands on its hind legs, won't it be much taller? Either way, it's a monster. Is this also a devil? Well, since Gremory Senpai called it an exile devil. Man, there are things like this as well. I confirmed it again. Devils are scary. Gabriel-san, why didn't you tell me about these creatures? Leaving your master's side and rampaging as you please definitely deserve death. In the name of Duke Gremory, I will gladly eliminate you. You're cunning for a little girl. I will rip your body and color it in red just like your hair. The monster was barking, but Gremory Senpai just laughed with her nose. She wasn't scared. Is she really a girl? No, wait, she's a high-class devil after all. She must be very powerful. Just when I'm thinking about it, my sacred gear again yelled the boost. Again. Deciding to try what Drake said, I walked in front and talked to Gremory Senpai. I know this is interfering with the devil's business, but can I try something on that monster? As a dragon I must at least do something. Hearing my request, Gremory Senpai showed a troubled look. I know since I was interfering with their business though I know nothing, but I need to know what I'm capable of doing as the Sekiryuite. Though Gremory Senpai nodded, she ordered Kiba-kun, Himejima Senpai and Taoju-san to stand by and help me if something bad happened. Let's go Drag. Don't worry partner, with the last boost, you're in the same state which is the same as ultimate class devils. Just a little more and you could reach a Mao class devil, you're a dragon, so it's natural for you to be powerful. Explosion. With that sound, I felt the power surging through my body. I can see a blood-red aura covering me, and it was enough to make a large crater on the ground. My surroundings were also blown away. Gremory Senpai and the others were already 20 meters away, and they had a surprised look on their faces. Hey, how can you help me when you're that far? So what can I do? Don't tell me that I need to fight at close range. I won't walk near that monster. You're a dragon and it also seems that you have a fond affinity for fire. Well, that devil can't harm you anyway. Just give it a punch or something, it's more than enough. Hey. What are you saying? I don't know how to breathe fire and I'm scared to walk near that thing. Just when I was panicking on what to do, I remember the earlier fight with Kiba-kun. I used my power to blow away the trees and stuff without being close to Kiba-kun himself. That's what I will do. Gathering all of the power in my left hand, I ran towards the devil while forming my stance. The devil also ran towards me while laughing creepily and swinging its spears on both hands. Just when we're a few meters away from each other, I released the power stored in my left hand and let the massive amount of power attack the devil. Bam, with my punch, the ground shook literally, and the area where the creepy trees were standing was blown away. Because of my aura, there were none of them left. There was also a giant crater on the ground, which was more than 50 meters in size. The devil who was rampaging disappeared without a trace. Don't tell me that it evaded my attack. No, there was nothing left of the devil. It perished when your aura touched it along with the surroundings. Whoa. Did I really do that? I never imagined that I was this powerful. It was just a punch yet it was able to destroy so much with the giant devil. I slowly walked towards the smiling Gremory Senpai with a shy face. I bowed and apologized for the surroundings that I destroyed, but she shrugged it off like it was nothing. Himejima Senpai along with Kiba-kun congratulated me with an amazed expression on their faces. That was very impressive. To think that you can already match ultimate class devils in your state, the Sekiryuite sure is scary. She totally ignored the destroyed surroundings. Yeah, Drake said that it was natural for dragons to be powerful, but this is an absurd level of power. You just awakened and you could now reach a high-class devil with your power. He sure is talented. He's not even in the balance breaker yet, though his starting power level is low, but he can store an insane amount of power. I'm sure that in just a little time, he will be the strongest Sekiryuite. Drake praised me. I'm so proud. Can you see this, Gabriel-san? Just when I was smiling shyly, I felt all the power inside me being sucked out. The boosted gear also said the word reset, and with that I lost all of my strength. I collapsed on the ground and immediately lost consciousness. But before I did, I heard a soothing voice resounding in the place. You did a good job, my ice. Udopov. Just as Issei-kun collapsed on the ground, we heard a feminine voice resounding in the area. That moment, a white figure appeared beside Issei-kun. The woman who appeared had blonde curly hair and a pair of innocent blue eyes. She also owns a great figure that can match Butchu and Akeno-san. This woman who appeared was simply beautiful, and there were 12 white wings growing out of her back. Then she must be. Gabriel, it's a surprise to meet you here. But you said with a serious expression, I guess she was also scared, huh? One of the Ceres is in front of us, and we cannot stop trembling from the holy aura that she was releasing. Though she doesn't have any hostility or killing intent, this was still very scary. I'm sorry for the trouble of Ice, I'll take him from here. Gabriel-san said as she picked up Issei-san on the ground. She gently patted his head as she prepared to leave, but she was stopped by Butchu. Do you intend to take the Sekiryuite into the angel side? Well, I won't be surprised since you found him first and raised him after all. Butchu asked, but Gabriel-san shook her head with elegance. Ice will take the path which he wishes to choose. I'll simply stand by his side no matter what he does, even if that means that I will fall. All of us were surprised by her statement. She didn't want to recruit the Sekiryuite, and she also won't object on whatever path he chooses. Moreover, she said that even if she falls she will still stand beside Issei-kun. She was really devoted to the Sekiryuite, but for what reason? That moment, Gabriel-san flew up in the sky while carrying Issei-kun on her shoulders. Thanks for looking after him, don't worry, you'll see him tomorrow. He just needs to rest for a little bit. With those words, Gabriel-san left the place with the Sekiryuite. Issei-kun. Butchu stared at the sky for a moment before directing her gaze at the surroundings that Issei-kun destroyed with one punch. Surely he is a terrifying Sekiryuite, and it will be a big disadvantage for the devils if he joined the angel's side, and to think that he just recently awakened. What an interesting boy. Now I wonder what will happen. What is this feeling? It is very familiar. Just like when I was a kid, when Gabriel-san was letting me use her lap as my pillow. Yeah, it's just like back then, the comfort that only Gabriel-san can give me. LA. Also, that beautiful voice that was humming a lullaby, it is the same just like Gabriel-san's. Am I only dreaming? No, I don't want this to end. I really enjoyed this kind of thing when I was still a kid. Even now I cannot resist calming down when I hear this. Reluctantly opening my eyes, I found myself sleeping on the bed while getting my head patted by a stranger. My eyes stared for the figure for a second before my mind trembled, reminding me who was the woman that was in front of me. Georgia. Gabriel-san. Despite my surprised, panicked voice, the beautiful woman in front of me just smiled gently as she stared at me. Hello Ice, are you feeling alright? She asked, but I couldn't resist my excitement. That's why I hugged her immediately. I can feel her patting my head and gently stroking my hair. The feeling was very nice, her smell was intoxicating, and her skin was very white and soft. Gabriel-san. Gabriel-san. Yes Ice, I'm here and I'll stay with you. Because of my feelings, I unintentionally tightened my hug onto her. I expected her to resist or something, but surprisingly, she didn't. She just returned the hug and continued to stroke my hair. It seems that in those 6 years she hasn't changed by a bit. I know you have questions about your bloodline Ice, I just wish that I have the answer. As if reading my mind, Gabriel-san answered. Though she was still hugging me, I felt that she had something in her mind as she suddenly pulled me towards her even more. But I'm surprised, in those 6 years Gabriel-san didn't change by a little. She's still as beautiful as ever. She still looks like she is in her early 20s. You've grown Ice, though you still have much to learn. But don't worry, I'm sure that your partner will take care of you. She must be referring to Drake. Yeah, the dragon inside me will definitely help me. Just like what happened earlier, the heck do I know about fire magic? I'm not even sure if I can do those kind of things. Sure, I'm a dragon, but I'm not a magician. Thanks for watching this video. Part 1 is over. If you really enjoy this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. Don't forget to support the Sir Juis High for writing that awesome fanfic. See you in the next video. Goodbye.